What's up, world? Sergey here, and in this video, I want to talk about and set up Cloudflare Tunnels. Um, for those of you who don't know, it's a way for you to have your local servers that are running on your local machine. For example, my portfolio website at localhost 4321 be exposed to the internet so that I can share a URL and people can access something that's on my local machine. Because as you know, if you post localhost 3000 or whatever on Twitter, people won't actually be able to see the app that you're building. And so I've been using a service called ngrok for ever, but I was listening to a Syntax FM podcast recently, and Wes was talking about Cloudflare Tunnels and how you can have this domain. I host my domain surge.tech on Cloudflare, and so I can have local.surge.tech that will be pointing to this or something else, and then I'll be able to connect webhooks to it. For example, Stripe usually requires you to have a URL that it can access when you're doing local development. It's a lot easier to do it with a domain that doesn't change. With ngrok, anytime you stop and start the service, it gives you a new domain, at least on the free tier. And so, yeah, to help me get that done, I will be using Warp as my terminal. And it has this amazing agent mode where I can tell it, hey, I want to set up Cloudflare tunnels to point localhost 4321 to local.search.tech. How would I do that? It'll think about it and give me a couple of options. The install command is, I believe it's just Cloudflare because I did get it installed before. Warp agent sometimes still hallucinates just a little bit, but I've done all of this. And what I will do is I will get it up to here and I can copy like I was just about to do. The cool thing with Warp is it gives you these commands here, so I can just run it straight in my terminal. And it created a local tunnel with ID and route DNS local surge. Let's try this command. Added CNAME local surge, which will route to this tunnel. Awesome. And let's just verify that. I have my Cloudflare open. And you can see the local CNAME record has been created with, let's create a config file. I believe I was reading about that. Let's ask agent mode to do it. Can you create a Cloudflare config file for me that points localhost 4321 to the Cloudflare tunnel I created earlier? To create a Cloudflare tunnel configuration points, you can create a YAML configuration file. And this is in here. So, Cloudflare tunnel list. I believe I will get, oh, I want to run this command. Yep, I'm still in agent mode. Local surg. So it ran it for me and now it got the ID and it got all of this information. Can you create this file for me? And has been successfully created. So let's see. We can run this command. Connection is established. Moment of truth. Currently unable to handle this request. 503. No ingress rules. Okay, so let's exit that. Let's go back to agent mode, give it this prompt as context. Why is it not working? Okay, so it can't find the config file. Explicitly specify the path to the configuration file. And right, so there's a default .cloudflared folder that gets created at the root of my user, but Warp created this config file here for me. So let's see if we back out of here, we can see the config.yaml here. And so let's try to run this command. Okay. Warp is telling me to do that, but instead let's ask it to, can you move the config.yml file over to, let's see where it should be. So if we go to here, LSA, I believe there is a Cloudflared. Yeah, so there's a JSON here and the certificate. So let's move it over to Cloudflared move. Config file has been moved. Let's double check that. Config.yml is there. Let's exit agent mode and run the command again. Generating connector ID. The settings are there. We've registered some connections. And I am now locally on the internet with an HTTPS certificate. This is cool. And let's say I want to edit a file. Let's just delete it and you can see that it works. And yeah, I can share this with anyone. And this has been Cloudflare Tunnels and Warp. Thanks again for watching. See you next time. Bye.